Copenhagen, right at the top.
No pictures.
Enjoy this particular piece in appropriate mood for our Baltic race cruise. And here we go, out to sea. Enjoy and welcome all, enjoy the cruise.
And we keep this whole way clear. I'll just call some cabin numbers so if you can help, yes?
So gentlemen, we are going to hear the alarm signal for the mandatory emergency drill for all coasts, consisting of 7 short and 1 long berth. Please join the navigator station on the proper deck. Passengers assigned to line board 5, 7, 9 and 11. Go to starboard side or skip, and passengers assigned to line board
Around 7 o'clock in the morning, we're coming into Helsinki, Finland. There's another cruise boat ahead of us going in. Very foggy this morning. Helsinki. 7:10 in the morning. 10:10 at night back home. There's the cruise ship that came in before us. Looks like the city. Island here. This is still Helsinki Harbor. We're sliding in sideways to this berth. Finnish flag. There's another cruise ship over there. It's Monday morning here. This is Senate Square in Helsinki, the oldest portion of the city. It's the statue of the Tsar of Russia, Alexander II. It's the Lutheran Church in the background. This is the oldest building in Helsinki right here. Helsinki University.
Nice to look at. The city hall on your right hand side, this light blue building, built in 1833 by architect Engel, the same architect who designed all the buildings around Senate Square, which we saw just recently. And right now we are having a lot of our own strawberries. They are really good because they grow day and night. Finland. The shopping street is here, the Esplanade Street, and very soon you will see the shops as Arabia shop on your right hand side when we pass by the red lights with our porcelain and glass. Finnish designers have won many prizes abroad and are internationally known for their design. And also you will see the Marimekko shop. We will pass by Marimekko with different lines of streetcars, and that works very well. It's also good with the air here. The air is quite clean in Helsinki, and they are very punctual, and you can sit easily and relaxed in a streetcar, and they run all over the city, and we find that the communication system very, very good here. There is a train to St. Petersburg every day, a Finnish train and a Russian train. From St. Petersburg you can take a train to Moscow, from Moscow to China, so you can travel all the way to China from Helsinki. 5 minutes outside Helsinki. You saw how easy it was to leave the city, no big traffic, very easy to come out here. Around this lake also many people from Helsinki have their summer places, and they come here after a day's work in Helsinki, drive out here, and blueberries here on both sides of this road. And so this is quite nice relaxation to come out from the city here to Vitresk. We will have a guided tour at once at the place in the house where Mr. Saarinen lived. Opposite lived Mr. Geselius. That is today a small cafe and a restaurant. And then there is a small white building where Mr. Lindgren lived, and that is a hotel for 6 persons only. So that you will also see when we come in here on the courtyard. So we shall leave from here 20 past 2. We shall leave back to the city, go via the coastal line, via Tapiola Garden City and Otaniemi Beach Town, and then we will have some shopping still in Helsinki. Vitresk. And we shall go in through that entrance. Restrooms on your right hand side when you come into the reception. Alright.
In our city we have 65 small rivers and canals. In the city we have 350 bridges. And across, by the way, do you remember the name of our main river? Yes. Yesterday my people told me the Volga. I said no. Moscow? No again. Oh no, the river Neva. Across the river Neva we have 21 bridges. All the bridges across the river Neva are drawbridges because our river is navigable. That's why. And Peter Peter the Great, who founded our city in 1703 as a military fortress, because at that time Russia was involved into the course of the Northern War against Sweden. These lands originally belonged to the Russian Principality, but the lands were conquered by the Swedish troops in the 17th century. And when Peter the Great came to the power, he decided to defeat these lands again. And that's why he founded a fortress here that took place of Peter the Great did not come true. There were many difficulties how to commute this area. At that time there were never any permanent bridges across the river Neva, and that's why St. Basil Island never became the main administrative center in our city. And right now we're crossing the river, as well as many churches in our city, and not only in St. Petersburg. Right now we're driving along the English embankment. The name English, the English embankment, was given due to English people who came to Russia from England on the invitation of Peter the Great in the 18th century to decorate, to construct. And this monument ahead of us, in the very center of this square, is a monument to Russian Tsar. His name was Nicholas I. He was quite a very crude person. He was not popular in Russia. And that's why he was given a nickname, Nicholas the Stick. Nicholas the Stick, because of his brutality. But anyway, the monument is quite unique because the monument has only 2 points of support. And this palace behind Nicholas the Stick, or Nicholas the First, is former Mariinsky Palace, which was presented by Nicholas I to his daughter Maria. She was a wife of Napoleon's grandson. She married him in 1837.
But I just want to. I like the.
Ja.
Hotel Astoria.
Such a movement.
Uh-oh. Building. Can you?
the Winter Palace. It's a part of the Hermitage Museum. It's on the right side. And today the Hermitage Museum is housed in 5 buildings, and the Winter Palace is the first one. Nearby in a minute we'll see the second building of the Hermitage Museum, the small Hermitage, this one on the right side, this yellow and white building, also with elevated columns. Yellow building nearby is the building of the old Hermitage. And from this side we can see the 4th building, this one, across the small canal. Right now it's on the right side. It's the Hermitage Theatre. And the new Hermitage is located from the side of the Palace Square, from the opposite side. We can't see it right now, later we'll see. It's St. Peter and St. Paul fortress I've told you about. The very first place which was founded in our city, and around this fortress the city grew up the palace. The marble palace, which was presented by Catherine the Great to her favorite, Count Orlov. And a monument over there inside this small garden is a monument to Alexander III. Alexander III was the father of the last Russian emperor, of the last Romanovs, Nicholas II. It's mosque. You know that many Muslim people used to live in our city, and the mosque was designed and constructed at the very beginning of this century, exactly to say in 1912, for them, for Muslim people. I see that the weather is going to be changed today. You know that it's very difficult to predict our weather in St. Petersburg. Did you get umbrellas with you? Yes. But on special occasions, even now, we use these columns, rostral columns, the name of the columns, rostral columns, as functioning lighthouses on very special occasions. And right now we are going to cross the river Neva by the palace.
Put it this way, if you drink some of that, I wouldn't go buy some. Bring them on
I've been up close too most of the time.
This is the Red October department store.
Matilda Kshestinskaya, this one on the left side. Do you see it? On the left side, this one. In the very Gothic style. And Matilda Kshestinskaya, she left Russia after revolution in 1917. She was a favorite of Nicholas II. I never use the word lover. It's not polite while speaking about jazz and arenas. It's better to say several minutes on the left side. This is a wedding palace. We can see right here. And on the left side, we can see this small building which belonged to Peter the Great. That was the very first building in the city, and we can see a bust of Peter the Great in front of it. On the left side, we can see Iron Felix. Felix Dzerzhinsky. During many years, he stood at the head of our secret police, but anyway, he was assassinated, as many members of the Communist Party. But anyway, he was not popular. He was not popular.
The tombs of the Russian czars.
also building. So now we are leaving Basil Island and now we'll get on the palace bridge. And you were asking about the nice green building, so now you can see this nice green building in Baroque style where you see the statues are on the building. This is the Winter Palace, which was built by architect Rastrelli in the time 1754-1762, and it was the winter residence of Russian royal family from the time of Elizabeth till Nicholas II, till February 1917.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Along with view of the hay, Senate Square.
Right, shall we go back?
Let me have a bag.
Oh, you took both of them?
No, I only have one.
Who decide not to use cameras inside the palace and do not want to pay for them will have to check them as soon as we enter the palace. They have a special check room for that. Now, when you fill in this list, and when we get to Pushkin, I will give out those permits to you, as I have them with me. Company, I'll just send this around. Mr. Red, start doing that. Well, here we're crossing a man-made canal. Now the church down there, the church is the Church of Resurrection, built at the turn of this century. And the church was built on the money donated by teetotalers of St. Petersburg. As for the canal we crossed, this canal was the boundary of St. Petersburg in the 19th century. And it is a man-made canal. It was built with a double purpose. To become a means of transportation. It really became an important means of transportation in the city. And it was also to take some of the water from the Neva River during the flooding of the city. Well, this never worked, unfortunately. Small greenhouses of their own. People also grow lots of berries. Strawberries, raspberry.
I feel very young when the golf cart like a candy shack. Drive around my house. With a golf cart.
Yeah.
Instead of stairs, have ramps.
The gardens there, French formal style gardens with statues from Italy and France, 18th to 19th centuries old. These parterre, different levels of gardens, is typical for the French garden.
Quality code. Of course, one can get clothes much cheaper.
What percentage of the income can one save here? Before 25%, 20%?
It's very difficult to say now. But if you get more than that, then you pay 20%, and then it goes up and up till 35%. 35% is maximum. This is a very new thing for us, I must say, these tax forms that we have to fill in, and not many people comply with the law yet. As a result, they have to pay high fines. Well, naturally, because since it is new, people think, now, as everything else in this country, they just talk about that. Let's forget about this. But then next year, we get the papers summoning them to the tax.
The whole up and down.
Stone.
So, 40s in the 40s, it was the best
One Start again.
So, ladies and gentlemen, now, if you get a bit closer, please. So now we could see the medieval castle, but now we face the opposite side of this same very castle. And you can see medieval part, another tower over there. If you get closer, you will see that. But this part of the castle, this pink part, was rebuilt in the 18th century during the time of Catherine II. And it was a seat, or this was the residence of the governor of the upper town. During the first independence of Estonia, it was also the government building. And nowadays also you can see our coats of arms, Estonian state coats of arms, and our national flag. You can see blue, black and white. I explained already the colors. And also nowadays we have here our prime minister works here, our prime minister works, and our government works here. Our president's office and residence are in the Park Hadrian, in the 18th century park. Now if we move a bit ahead, so to the very right, round tower, which is sweep into the kitchen or kicker in the kirk tower, dates back to the 1475. So the 15th century tower, and as well as St. Margaret Tower, which we saw from the very beginning of the top. It was also a cannonball tower, or gunpowder tower. There were 3 gunpowder towers in the medieval towers, and 2 have maintained through nowadays. St. Margaret and keeping to the kitchen tower. And then we can see closer to us, quadrangular tower, Mexingen tower. Let us show that girls who did not want to get married used to stay in this tower. That's why it's Mexingen or Mexingen tower. And we can see a wall. And behind that wall is the Danish king's garden. Is there anybody from Denmark here? I can say that thanks God, because for the Danes it's a must to enter that the Danish king's garden. Because the legend tells, you know, this country, as I mentioned, has very favorable weather. Around the country. In the 13th century, the Crusaders came here, and also in the 13th century, no flash. You can take, but without flash. So if somebody feels a bit tired, you can take seats on those pews, the historical pews of the turn of the 17th, 18th century. I can't talk too long, so loud, because when another group comes, I have to be polite for other visitors, and then I shall maybe speak more, maybe softly. But now if you kindly get closer, while we do not have any other groups, so we can see the altar. The altar was made in the 17th century, and also the pulpit was made in the 17th century by famous master on wood carving Christian Ackermann. And at the entrance, you can see at the entrance above the wall there in Baroque style, from the beginning of the 18th century, or first half of the 18th century, special pews for the families of the governors of the upper time, the Manteufels family, and this is from the second half of the 18th century for the Pastor family. And the old organ box, you can see over there, the organ box which was made in the 19th century, but the village has to remember was other Scandinavian or German organ. On the right-hand side of the altar, there were German, the Scandinavian noblemen married, and on the left-hand side, German noblemen. for the others. Now, what we can see from here, ladies and gentlemen, is our big fountain. Ahead, you can see to the, on the right, from this modern building, which is Will Hotel, you can see a brown spire, and on top of that spire is a weather vane, which represents medieval knight. And his name is Vanna Thomas, or Old Thomas. Can you see Old Thomas? Everybody see Old Thomas now? He's greeting you. Please have a look at him. Old Thomas is considered to be a watchful guard of the town. He sees everything, he knows everything, he remembers everything, and he tells a hearty welcome to the guests of Tallinn. Can everybody see him, yes? Old Thomas there. This is the city hall on top of that town hall. Yes, Weatherway. Then to the left from that modern building, from the Hotel Viru, you see Holy Ghost Church. Ladies and gentlemen, now we have to stick together. Another group is coming. We get a bit closer. We'll give them another place also, otherwise they will not see. Warehouses, the storages, and to pull up the goods or push down goods, they had the special pieces of wood, yes? And this is St. Nicholas Church. We are close to the church now. And this street which we are going to take now, we are kindly to take the pavement again, please. We are taking the Rakta-Simon Street. Rakta-Simon is the real well street. We are taking this way. Again, it's safer to take this side of the street. It's safer to take the pavement, please, in a frying pan. And this is right there. This is our grandmother's place, or our grandmother's place. And this stove is actually normal, because it's not like this. So if you want to take it's fine. Because this is now city hall, a town hall, and this is like blue and white. And our national color is really, remember, blue, black and white.
They're all silver stuff. In the rock.
Vito. Hi.
Got all my other rolls.
We'll see all those guilds of merchants and craftsmen. This was fraternity or fellowship of the Blackheads, or the Brotherhood of the Blackheads. Then Oleviste Guild, or Saint Olaus Guild. And then you can see Saint Knut and Martin Luther. So this was so Germans, non-Germans, Scandinavian, all these types. But this house was the Brotherhood of the Blackheads. And these were young, unmarried merchants who were mainly the sons of richest ones. The richest ones belonged to the Great Guild. I shall tell about the Great Guild later on. And so their saint patron was Saint Maur, or Saint Mauritius.
Town Hall.
But this is very much dated from 14 to the monastery. The very beginning of the
1404.
15th century. So, I have just the feeling that we have lost some from our
Market Square.
I thought that we had bigger units there.
Right?
And no even petrol lamps. So they had a piece of wood, they burnt it, and this is how it lighted the houses. So nowadays, some very rich people feel that it's very good. The best summer cottage is old left farmyard, and they pay much money and buy as units as summer cottages because some of those farmyards now on the territory of the country are very happy to go.
You need your that light's in the bag.
No, it's picking it up.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a light.
As long as you don't hit the window ahead of you, or
Yeah.
use your backlight. It's surprising what it picks up.
Yeah. We've got a little light that goes on that too, though.
But it's surprising what the automatic focus picks up until you put a window in front of it.
It was the summer kitchen. This is where the horses are kept. That's the residence right next to it. This is where the cows were kept. And then the granary. And this is the well.
You can find a sort of seat, and those children, they may also let you sit down there if you'd like to, behind the musicians. And just like there are some
Yeah.
It's something like John Barleycorn, before this John Barleycorn. In a film in Parajan. And have a look at this band, what kind of music it is. Oh, that's
fisherman's hut.
Seaside, more windy, and that's why the roof is not made of thatch, but it's a small pieces of yes, it's just the wood. It's and of course,
Seashore.
we do not have too much cattle, so the cattle shed is smaller, and a special storage for fish.
Fish storage there.
If you'd like to see inside, you're welcome to have a look inside. And of course,
Definitely would not want to know this.
rain, rain, rain.
Just go in here. It's like rain in here. Nope.
Hmm? Yes, these are the fishermen's huts.
western part of Estonia where we have Swede or Swedish settlements on the territory of Estonia. So they have, for instance, windows and this opening, I mean, we celebrated its 40th anniversary, and we can see it's number 40.
Typical road inn.
And if you'd like to see how inn looks like, the next entrance will be to the inn. On the way to the market from the village, they had to have a rest, to have some meal, to give some oats or some water to horses, sometimes even to stay overnight. So these are typical inns on the territory of Estonia, but this is from northwestern part. And very typical bread is this one, which is called karas. So you get the idea how those inns look like.